Hello everyone. So this session is going to be on a new chapter from your NCERT textbook, that is going to be on polynomials. So already in your lower classes you have learned an introduction part of your algebra. So as I always suggest you to go back to basics whenever you see a new chapter. So as a matter of fact, without knowing a conceptual idea on your chapters in your lower classes as such algebraic expressions or linear equations, it is very difficult for us to understand this particular chapter. So here what I will do, I will take few minutes in discussing the background that is needed for understanding this particular chapter better. So background means we need to know what is the algebra is all about and what are algebraic expressions. When we call a particular algebraic expression as polynomial, so those things we have to see in detail. So for understanding those concepts better, so let us quickly go through the basics that are needed for understanding this particular chapter better. So let us start. To begin with algebra, first we need to know what are the entities or the quantities that you will have in your maths. So always in maths you will be having two kinds of quantities. One is going to be your constants, the other is going to be variables. So we very well know all these things in our lower classes, but I will take a few minutes in revising these also. So what are constants and what are variables? So constant means always its value is going to be remaining same. So as the vocabulary meaning says, it is going to be static. That means the value is fixed. But in case of variable, what will happen? We can assign any random value as such. So generally we indicate these variables with the lowercase alphabets. So we can use capitals also, but generally we prefer lowercase alphabets in denoting variables. It is going to be a symbol. We can assign any value for it as a matter of fact. So they are going to be variables. We can say x, some person x, like. So it is going to be variable. It can be anything. It can be anyone, like. But when I say 2, its value will be 2 always. When I say pi, which is 3.14, what we have seen, it has irrational number, its value is going to be same. So like this, we have two quantities in case of our mathematics is concerned, that is constant as well as variable. So as you can see the definition, so the constant, so whose value will remain same whatever the situation may be. Suppose if we say 5, its value will be 5 always. Minus 9, it is also it's going to be minus 9 only. And if you take pi, its value will be 3.14, and all the decimal points will keep on repeating till millions of places, as we have seen in case of irrational number decimal expansion. So all these values are fixed. So these are nothing but our constants. But when I say variable, it can be some x. So we can change according to the situation. Suppose if I say area of square is equal to side into side. So generally write as side square, right? So we can say that as a square. If I take area we'll write it as a square. So I can assign 2, then I will be having a square of 2 units like this. If I assign a is equal to 3, what will happen? I will be having still bigger case like this. If I assign a is equal to 5, what will happen? I will get a big square, much big square, which is having 5 into 5 area, which is 25. So depending upon the situation, variable can take any value. So variable will be changing its value according to the situation. So that is going to be our variable. So this is constant and this is going to be variable. That is what we need to know before actually going into our algebraic expression definition. So now let us understand what is this particular algebraic expression. So already we have a total chapter on this particular thing in our 8th class. So let us take a minute in understanding what this particular expression and all means. Okay. So just to begin with, so let me simplify it for you. We have bag of symbols. Let us say we have symbols like, what are the algebraic symbols we have? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. These are the basic symbols we use. And we have set of variables. Let us say x square, let us say whatever it may be. So let us say y we have, and we have numbers on one side. Let us say fixed values. So these are variables, and these are what I call constants, So I will take bag of constants 1, 2, 3 and all. So like this, I have one bag which will be having all these quantities, and I will be having one more bag which is having all the variables like this, and one more bag which is having all the mathematical operators, in particular basic mathematical operations. So what this particular algebraic expression means, let us understand. You take combination of these two with the help of this one. Why? Because to connect all these things we use some operation, like suppose if I say x, if I say 2, how can we join? Actually I can multiply it like 2 into x, which is 2x. I can use addition symbol, I can say x plus 2, which is 2 more than x, or I can say 2 less than x, which is x minus 2. So like that I have taken one variable and one constant, and I'm performing, let us say x by 2 half of x. So here what I'm doing actually, here I have taken a variable and a constant, I have joined them with the multiplication sign here, with addition sign here, with subtraction sign here, and with the division sign here. So basically an algebraic expression is a collection of terms separated by plus minus sign. So that is a textbook definition, but let us understand it in brief, okay, clearly, okay. So you take the combination of any, suppose if I say x, is it an algebraic expression? Yes, it is an algebraic expression. Suppose let us say 2x plus 3, it is also algebraic expression. So algebraic expression basically is a collection of variables, constants along with some mathematical operations. So the basic mathematical operations we use generally will be addition, multiplication, division and subtraction. So take any combination of this variable, let us say I will take x square here, I will take 2 here, multiply it, 2x square, add them, it will be 2 plus x square, it will be 2 plus x square. So in both the cases this is one expression and this is going to be a different expression, like that. So algebraic expressions are formed when you take the combination of variables and constants along with our mathematical operations. That is what the basic definition of algebraic expression is, and we have discussed in our 8th class. After understanding what is an algebraic expression, we should know what are terms. Okay, suppose how many terms are there in the given expression and all, we should know how to count the number of terms. For example, if I say 2, if I say 2x, if I say x plus 2, if I say x by 2, if I say, let us say 2x plus 2, okay, let us say 2x plus 2. Let us count the number of terms here, okay. Suppose, so after understanding algebraic expression, we need to know what are terms, how we count them and all we need to see. Suppose we have an expression like x and I have 2x plus 2x, let us say 2x plus 2, let us say 3x square minus 2. So let us take one more, 9x square minus x cube plus 3. So these are the things that I have taken, okay. Now we need to count the number of terms on all these expressions and all. So these are expressions only, right? The basic definition of algebraic expressions, it is a combination of variables and constants separated by mathematical operators. It is very well justified here. So these are going to be some algebraic expressions. Now see here, how many terms are here? Only x is a term, so one term here. So remember, under multiplication we treat the entire thing as only one term. So x is one term, it is multiplying with 2. 2 x's are there, that means these are bound, okay. When you multiply, this will become an entity altogether. So this is also one term only. But in this case you see 2x, it is joined by 2. So this 2x is one term and this plus 2. So keep in mind, we have to take this sign into consideration also. So this is first term and this is the second term. Altogether there are 2 terms here. Now in this case 3x square minus 2, how many terms are there? This 3x square as a term, we will take it as 1. So this is a variable x square. For that, this coefficient, we will see all these things later by taking the terms into consideration. So this is going to be a single term and this minus 2 is going to be a single term. How many terms are there altogether? 3x square is one term and this minus 2 is one more term. There are 2 terms in total. But in this case, if you see, 9x square is a term, this minus x cube is a term and plus 3 is a term. The trick is very simple, just always look for this positive signs and negative signs in between. Suppose if I say 3x plus y minus z plus k, how many terms are there? This is a term, this is a term, this is a term, and this is a term. Always look for this positive signs and negative signs in between and count the individual numbers. And remember one thing, when something is under multiplication, we treat this entire entity as a single term. So here 3x is there, we should not consider 3 as one term and x as one term. Why? Because these are just multiplied to get a new term like 3x. 3 times x is going to be considered as a single term only. We have to look for only addition sign and subtraction sign in between, then only we have to take into consideration the number of terms. Now after understanding how to count the number of terms and all, so we will take one more concept called coefficient and exponent. Okay, now see a term 3x square here. Is it a term or not? 3x square as a whole is going to be a term. So let us write there are 3x square term aside, and there is one more term which is 6x. I will be writing 6x aside. Now see in this 3x square, what is the variable involved? The variable involved is x. So it is x which is the variable involved. Now see for this x, okay, for this x it is being squared first, and for this entire variable whatever the numeral coefficient, okay, numeral means the number which is presiding over it is known to be coefficient. Okay, now we call, so except this part, this particular 3, we call this as coefficient. So we call it as what? Coefficient. Except that whatever we need to know. So here x square is there. For this x square, 3 is the coefficient. And for this x, whatever is there in the power, we call this as power, we call it as exponent. So exponent is what? So here exponent is going to be 2 in this case. Like that, for each term we can classify the coefficient and we can find the exponent also. So in this case, as in this case, 3x square is there, and for this 3x square, for this x square, 3 is the variable, and for this x, 2 is going to be exponent. So exponent is 2 and coefficient of x square is going to be 3. Okay, so except this x square, whatever remains, the numeral is going to be our coefficient. So we shall do the same thing for 6x also. Here we have 6x. Okay, what is the variable involved here? X only. For this x, what is the numeral presiding over it? 6. So 6 is the coefficient of x. That is how just we read it. And for this x, whatever is there in the numerator, that means in the power, not in the numerator, sorry, in the power it is 1. So exponent of x is going to be 1, and coefficient of x is going to be 6. So whatever presiding, that means here whatever comes immediately before it, we call it as coefficient, and whatever is there for the variable, the power, is going to be the exponent. So here we have seen what is exponent and what is the coefficient also. Let us take some examples related to that. So see here, this is the algebraic expression given. So minus 32x is going to be, how many terms are there? As a whole, it is going to be a single term. Why? Because this minus 32 into x as a whole is a term. So that is why the number of terms are going to be 1. That is minus 32x only. Now 2x plus 3y. How many terms are there? See the plus sign. So this plus sign separates this 2x and this 3y. So 2x is one term and this 3y is going to be one more term. So that is why there are two terms. They are 2x and 3y. Now see ax minus 5y plus cz is one more example given to you. So see ax as a whole is one term, minus 5y is one more term, plus cz is going to be other term. Why? Because here this ax and 5y are separated by negative sign. So this is one term and this as a whole becomes one more term. And this minus 5y and cz are separated by a positive sign. As we know, to count the number of terms, always we focus on the plus sign and minus sign in between. So these are going to be the terms involved in this particular expression. Now see the last part here. This is going to be 3 by x plus y by 7 minus xy by 8 plus 9. How many terms are there? 4 terms. Why? Because see, this is one term, this is second term, this is third term, and this is going to be our fourth term. So like that, this is the way that we need to count the number of terms. And see here, always remember, we can write the coefficient of the variable and the exponent also if we need to write. And just we can, as we have seen the algebraic expressions and we have seen how to count the number of terms, just depending upon the number of terms involved, we can classify the particular algebraic expression as a name. Okay, we can give the naming depending upon the number of terms. Remember, this classification is based upon number of terms. So here we take number of terms into consideration, number of terms. So number of terms, depending upon that, we name it as. Monomial. So see, as always, I will suggest you to go from the definition, dictionary meaning. Mono means one, nomial means term, monomial means single term. So see, wherever the algebraic expression involves only one variable, that means one term, we call it as a monomial. So it need not to be one variable. Suppose if I say xy, how many terms are there? Only one term. Why? Because x into y as a product is going to be a single term. This is also a monomial. Monomial means only single term should be there. That means the number of terms should be 1. And see, binomial. See, in monomial, 5y is a monomial, minus 7xy is a monomial, 4x square is a monomial, abx is a monomial. Mono means one in simple. Suppose if I say x, y, z, a, b, c, d, f, I have taken the product of all the variables and all, but all these things are under multiplication. So that is why this as a whole is going to be only one term in fact. So that is why it is also a monomial in fact. Okay, I hope it is clear what is a monomial. Now let us move to the binomial part. Bi means two, nomial means terms. Two terms. Whenever any algebraic expression which has two terms, we say it to be a binomial. See here what will happen. Algebraic expression having two terms is called a binomial. So 8x plus 3y. So 8x is a term and 3y is a term. Just we can frame it on your own if you want to. So here 8x is a term plus 3 is one more term. So two terms, binomial again. So 9 minus 4y. 9 is a term. Here remember minus 4y is one more term, not 4y. So 9 minus 4y. How we have to treat? If we take this as a term, this is term. Term 2 is going to be taken along with the sign. Minus 4y is second term. So it is also a binomial. So binomial will involve two terms. Now we shall see what is a trinomial. Tri means three. As we say triangle, okay. Tri means three. Trilateral, like three faces and all. So tri means three, nomial means terms. So any algebraic expression which involve three terms, we call it as a trinomial. So trinomial, see here for example, if I say ax first term minus 5y second term, 8z third term. So in this case we have three terms, so that is going to be a trinomial. 3x square plus 4x plus 7. Again three terms. See, 3x square is one term, 4x is one term, 7 is one more term. So here also I got three terms. So that is why it is going to be a trinomial. So remember, always just learn how to count the number of terms. Depending upon the number of terms, just we can name them monomial, binomial, trinomial and all. So we shall see the last part here. So in general, we have multinomial. Multinomial means any algebraic expression which is having two or more than two. Okay, suppose x plus 2. Two terms are there. I can call it as multinomial. X plus y plus z. So as per the number of terms, I can call it as binomial. So multinomial means more than two or two. So here also three terms are there. I can call it as three means trinomial I can call it as. But in general, I can call it as multinomial. So remember, this is going to be a broad nomenclature that we can use for naming. So whenever our expression is having two or more than two, just ultimately we can call it as a multinomial. So this is how we can name an algebraic expression depending upon the number of terms involved in the particular expression. Now let us understand what are factors and coefficients as such. Now see, factors means already, suppose this is what we have seen in the chapter factorization. Suppose if you observe, all these things we have discussed during our two chapters, that is algebraic expressions and factorization only. So if you are very well aware with those two chapters, you will find nothing new in this particular chapter and it will be very easy for you. So even if you are missing some things, just we will be revising all these things here. See here, as factor means, suppose if I have 6, how can I write it as 2 into 3? So this form of representation of a number as a product of factors, that means this factor means what? Completely divides the given number. This 2 will divide it and this 3 also will divide it. I can write it as 6 into 1 also. 6 will divide and 1 will divide completely this particular 6 without any remainder. So that is why these are the factors of this particular 6. Okay, now this is a pure arithmetic concept. That means only numbers are involved. Suppose if I say 6x, what all can divide this particular 6x? 6 can divide it, x can divide it, 1 can divide it, and 6x as a whole can divide it. These are the factors of this particular expression. Why? Because this is involving both the variable as well as the number. So this is numeral 6 is involved. So we say numeral factor. Numeric means only number will be there. So 6 will divide it, the 6x completely. So 6 is going to be numeral, and x, 1, 6x. All these are going to be the factors for this particular 6x is concerned. Okay. Now let us just take the examples from here itself. Suppose if I say 7x. Okay. So this 7x, what all can divide this particular 7x? X can divide, it will go 7 times in 7x. 7 can divide it, will go x times in 7x. 1 can divide it, as always 1 is a factor of anything, and 7x as a whole also can divide it. So these are going to be the factors. In particular, if I talk about only numeral one, what is the number among all these things? So we generally won't take 1 into consideration. Why? Because by default 1 will be there. So out of the remaining 7 will be there. 7 is going to be the numerical factor, and x, these are going to be literal. Why? Because in the form of language, what we can say. So see here, literal factors means the variables whatever involved, and numerical factors means only the numeral will be taken here. So as I say here, minus 5 x square y is one more thing that is given to us. Now see, minus 5 will divide it, and x square will divide it, x will divide it. Why? Because if a number is divided by the number, suppose if you take any number is divided by 4, will it be divided by 2 or not? Yes. Why? Because suppose if 16 is there, it will be divided by 4 completely. What is the square root of this particular 4? 2. It will be divided by this 2 also. A number, if it is divided by this particular square of a number, it will square root also will divide it for sure. Suppose see here, so square root of 4 is 2, 2 will also will divide it this particularly. So in this case, just we can look at the factors and all. So now see, already we have seen what are coefficients. So let us have a quick look at that particular part also. Now see here, coefficient. So coefficient means, let us take an example. Already we have seen this. Suppose if I have 7x, whatever, so 7x is a term. In this, x is the variable, whatever is the numeral there, whatever is presiding before it, we call it as coefficient in general. So x is there, remain, just leave that, take the other part only. This is 7. So 7x is going to be, so x, for this x, 7 is the coefficient involved. And if you take one more example, see here, 5 is the coefficient. Suppose if I take minus 5x square y, okay, can I write it as 5 into minus 1 into x square y? Always you can manipulate, okay. Whenever multiplication is there is no hard and strict rule that we have to follow whatever the order given to you, okay. Now see, why did I write like so? See here, minus 1 into x square is y is what? 5 into minus x square y. Under multiplication only, right? For this entire minus x square y, this 5 is the coefficient. And for this x square y, minus 5 is the coefficient. Just I wrote it the other way. That's it. Okay, just if you observe the difference here, whatever is there, x square y, this minus 5 is the coefficient. For minus x square y, already we are taking this minus to this particular part. Again, we need to take this particular minus for this 5. So that is why 5 is going to be the coefficient for minus x square y. In particular, that is going to be a numerical coefficient if you observe so. Okay. Now let us take some examples from this particular discussion what we have done so far. So see, write the coefficient of these 4 questions are given to us. So let us understand, okay, for one by one. So x square in 3x cube and all in x square, okay. Always first you write the term containing that particular thing asked, okay. So here x square coefficient is asked. What is the term involving this x square? Minus 5x square. Write it separately as a term whole. Remember, many of the times you will be neglecting this minus sign. We have to take the sign also, okay. For this x square, what is the coefficient? This minus 5. So entire thing will be the coefficient. So the answer for this one is going to be minus 5. Here xy in 8xyz. So always remember, whenever this is given to you, this is one term only, okay. This is one term only. Why? Because everything is under multiplication only. So here 8xyz. So you will be writing 8 into x into y into z. This is how we can write it, okay. Now see, remember one thing, we want xy. So xy just you take under product only, right? What will be remaining here? 8 into z. So 8z, whatever is remaining will be the coefficient of this xy. Just remember. So xy, the coefficient is going to be 8z. Now see, coefficient of minus y in this particular expression, okay. Now see, You're asking minus 5 coefficient, not y coefficient. Remember, if they ask you y coefficient, suppose just you take y, whatever is given to you, minus 6y is there, which is involving y. Here the question can be two ways, okay? What is the coefficient of y and what is the coefficient of minus 5? They can ask you. If they ask you what is the coefficient of y, so y is there, what will be left? This is minus 6. So minus 6 is the answer. Suppose if I ask you what is the coefficient of minus 5, so always remember whenever something is in multiplication just you can manipulate, no problem. See here how can you write it as minus 6 is nothing but minus 1 into 6 into y, and just you multiply, whether you multiply this 1 with this minus 6 or minus 1 with the y, there is no problem for me. Why? Because whatever we have learned in the properties of multiplication, it is commutative in nature. Whether you multiply a into b or b into a, both will be same. So that is why this 1 I will multiply with here, I will be getting 6 into minus 5. 6 times minus 5. Now for this minus 5, what is the coefficient involved? Only 6. So the answer is going to be 6, not minus 6. Remember, am I asking you the coefficient of y or am I asking you the coefficient of minus 5? That need to be taken care of. Okay. Now see here the coefficient of x power 0. Okay. Now always remember, any number power 0 will be always 1. A power 0 is 1, which is very important identity that we have learned in our algebraic, that means exponential laws. This is what we have seen, and also we have seen the proof for this particular thing also. Okay, now we shall see this particular question in detail. We are asked about the coefficient of this particular x power 0 in this particular thing. Now see whatever is given to you, 3x plus 7. Only constant is there. Can I write it as 7 into 1? Will be there any problem or will be there any change in so? No. So just you take that as 3x plus 7 into 1, right? 7 into. In place of 1, just we have seen that x power 0 can I write? I can write y power 0 also. I can write z power 0 also. Any variable power 0 I can write. But see, our expression is entirely in x's only, right? Can I write it as x power 0 here preceding? In place of 1, just I am writing x power 0. Why? Because the value of 1 can be taken as x power 0. Now what is the coefficient of x power 0 here? 7. So remember, here whenever a constant is given to you, just you can assume a multiplication factor of a variable power 0 here. Why? Because it will be 1 only. So here the coefficient of x power 0 is going to be 7. Just we can have a look at this particular solutions and all. So this is what the solutions for the try this what we have taken earlier. Now let us begin our actual story now. Okay, so till now whatever you have seen is just a background for understanding the definition of a polynomial. So remember what is our chapter name? That is going to be polynomials. And if you remember, I didn't just speak out the term polynomial till now. Okay, just if you see, just I am defining the polynomial now. Okay, after understanding what are the elements involved in the algebraic expression and what are the terms, what are the powers, exponents and all, then only we will be able to define a polynomial. Then only we will be understanding a polynomial in a better way. Okay, just we will see the definition first, don't worry, then we shall move to the examples. I will make it clear for you. Okay, so a polynomial is an algebraic expression in which each variable involved has a power as a whole number. Okay, is this simple? Let us see. Polynomial is also an algebraic expression. Okay, it is also an algebraic expression, but the condition is for each variable involved the power should be whole number. For example, let us say 3x square, okay, plus 6x plus y plus 9. This is what I have taken. Okay, so this is what I have taken. First of all, see whether it is an algebraic expression or not. Okay, always remember everything will be algebraic expression, whichever involves variables, constants and plus signs in between and all, it will be algebraic expression for sure. Now see the condition of the second one, in which each variable involved, see the variables here, x is the variable here and y is the variable, and power should be whole number. For this x, what is the power? This particular 2. So let me take here, the power is 1. By default, when nothing is there, power is 1. The power is 1. The power is 2 here. Now see these powers. 2. Is it a whole number? Yes. What are whole numbers? Better remember it. Okay. So here whole number should be 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and there should not be any negative powers. There should not be any fractions. There should not be any decimals so far. So see here, 1 is there, 1 is there. So all these powers, each variable. Okay. So here the variable is x involving 2 as the power, here the variable is x involving 1 as the power, and here the variable is y involving 1 as the power. And all these 2, 1, 1, which are the exponents of the variable involved, are going to be our whole numbers. So can I call this entire thing as a polynomial? For sure I can call it. Okay, this is going to be a polynomial also. Remember, polynomial basically is an algebraic expression, whereas the powers of it are going to be always whole numbers. Each power, whatever the variable is involving, the power of that variable should be whole number. In that case, we call that entire thing as a polynomial. That is what the definition of the polynomial is. Okay, we shall take one more example. So I have taken x square plus root x plus 6. So we very well know this is going to be algebraic expression. How many terms are there? X square is a term, root x is a term, and 6 is a term. Okay, let me just put the signs here. This is plus and this is also plus. Okay, 3 terms are there. This is algebraic expression for sure. There is no doubt for me how many terms are there. So 3 terms are there. Okay, we can identify the coefficients. Now see the exponents here. Okay, already in our number systems we have seen how to just represent a radicand. Okay, suppose if root x is there, how will I write it as actually 1 by 2? Nth root we can write it as power 1 by n. Okay, if I have cube root of x, how will you write it as x power 1 by 3? If I have, and one more thing just I need to remember, if I say 1 by x, it is same as x power minus 1. All these things are basically from our exponential laws. If you remember, x power minus n, the same thing you will write as 1 by x power n. Okay, so just we will be using them repeatedly in this particular understanding of this particular definition of polynomials. Better you remember this particular part, okay, and this particular thing, radicands and all. Okay, so just see here this particular x square, and just you write it in the basic form. Square root, how can I write it as x power 1 by 2. How we can actually write it as? So just we can write it as x power 1 by 2, okay, plus 6. Now see here, in this case it is an algebraic expressions. Now the variables involved are x, here also x is there, okay, and here I can assume x power 0. Why? Because x power 0 is 1 only. So if you avoid it also, there is no problem for me. Okay, there is no problem for me, but just try to be habitual in writing 1 as x power 0. Why? Because my variable is x only. We can write y power 0 also, but everything is in terms of x. Just I write it as x power 0. Why? Because 6 into 1 will be there. 1 I can write it as x power 0. Okay, now see the powers. What are the powers involved? See here, the power is 2, the power is 1 by 2, and the power is 0. Now just answer one question yourself. Are these powers all are whole numbers? See, 2 is a whole number, this 0 is also a whole number, but this 1 by 2, is it a whole number? No. So that is why each should be a whole number. So see, each variable should be having a whole number as the power. So even in one case it is violated, it is not going to be a polynomial. So this is for sure is not a polynomial. The rule is very simple. Just we have to look at the powers of the variables. If all the powers, I repeat, are going to be whole numbers, then it should be a polynomial. Otherwise it won't be a polynomial, but it will be an algebraic expression in simple. Why? Because algebraic expression itself is a combination of variables, constants, and some mathematical operators. It is a just mix of all those things and all. But for an algebraic expression should to be a polynomial, there is some condition that should be satisfied. That condition is going to be on the powers. We need to see, we need to locate just the exponents, and we need to see whether they are going to be whole numbers or not. If they are so, it will be a polynomial, otherwise it won't be a polynomial. So see the same example, just I have taken words here. So 3x square minus y power 4 plus 5z. How many variables are involved? X is variable, y is variable, z is variable. And for all these variable, whenever you see variable, nothing is there, just you keep 1. Whenever you see constant, nothing is there, just you multiply with the variable power 0. Why? Because anything power 0 will be 1. And 1 into 8, it will be 8 only. Is equal to 8 only. Whether you write 8 or 8x power 0, same. Okay. Now see, all these powers, 2, 5, 1. Are they whole numbers? Yes. Okay, whole number should be 0, 1, 2 and all. Okay, so it should be a particular polynomial only. Okay, it is going to be polynomial. That is how just you justify the definition of a polynomial. Okay, suppose if I take one more example which is not a polynomial. Let me take cube root of y plus 1 by y. So see, is this a polynomial is my question. Okay, now how will you see whether it is a polynomial or not? First you write this particular thing in exponential form. Already we have seen how to write cube root of y. How will you write it as y power 1 by 3 plus 1 by y, just I have explained in the previous slide, it is going to be y power minus 1. Y minus 1, any number a power minus n is written as 1 by, just you remove this negative sign and you write it as a power n. If you observe, in place of this can be interchangeably written. This can be written like this and this can be written like this. Now see this 1 by y. 1 by y power 1 is there. Just can I write as y power minus 1 is, suppose if I just bring it to the numerator and all, it will be y power minus 1. One more way is going to be, see here, this one, can I write as y power 0 is 1 and y power 1. A power m by a power n, a power m minus n. Okay, this will be y power 0 minus 1. There are numerous ways of looking at the things, just if you understand how to look at them. Okay, so this is going to be y power minus 1 again. Now see, in this exponential form, the variable involved is y only, but for this variable here 1 by 3 is there and here minus 1 is there. And see here the bases are same. So, okay, now each of the variable, suppose if multiplication sign, just we have to simplify and see whether it is a polynomial or not. So since these are two different terms, okay, different terms, we should not add them up. See here 1 by 3 and this is minus 1. Both are not whole numbers. Even if one is not a whole number, we won't say it as a polynomial. Here both the things are not going to be whole numbers. So this is not going to be a polynomial for sure. So that is how just we have done with the definition of a polynomial. Remember, it is an algebraic expressions with whole numbers as the exponents. That is the simple thing just we have to remember. As we have just classified algebraic expressions, can't we classify this particular polynomials? Okay, so we can take some parameter and we can classify. Okay, we can't go for random classification. Just we have to take one thing into consideration. Just we can classify depending upon that particular whatever the thing just we are considering. Okay, so we shall classify polynomials based upon number of variables. Here my classification will be based upon number of variables. That means whether it is only involving x or whether it is only involving x, y, or both are involved or three are involved, like that. Okay, see here these are algebraic expressions like 8x plus 3, 4y minus 3. Here how many variables can you see in each of these expressions? First of all, see here all these expressions will be polynomials only. Why? Because all the powers, whatever the variables are there, they are going to be whole numbers only. And for sure, suppose if you observe one thing here, only one variable is there in each of these particular polynomials. So that is why a polynomials which involve only one variable are going to be polynomials in one variable. Suppose if I say x square plus 2x plus 3. Okay, so this is going to be a polynomial. Why? Because first of all it is algebraic expressions, since the powers are going to be whole numbers, so that is why it is going to be a polynomial also. And I have only one variable, that means only one alphabet, so just easy to remember, only one letter, that means variable, so that is why x. So that is why it is going to be one variable polynomial. Okay, now suppose there are two variables involved. Suppose see in this case x is also there and y is also there. So overall it is going to be a polynomial only. Why? Because see here x power 1, y power 1. Okay, every variable whatever is involved having a whole number. Okay, so it is a polynomial. But how many different letters you can see in this particular expression? I can see x, forget the exponent for a while, but I can also see y also here. So two things I can see simultaneously. It is going to be two variable polynomial which are x and y. So it is a polynomial in x and y. That is how just you read it. Okay, now see here these are three variables involved. X is there, y is there, z is there. First of all, is it a polynomial? Yes. Why? Because even though there are three variables involved, just we can see that all the variables are having the powers are going to be whole numbers only. So that is why it is going to be a polynomial in two variables. That means it is three variable, it is two variables. So depending upon the number of variables, just we can classify them as polynomial in one variable, polynomial in two variable, polynomial and in three variable as such. So depending upon number of variables, just that is the parameter we are taking for the classification, just keep in mind. So till now just we have seen a few basic things and we have learned the definition of a polynomial and we have seen how to classify them depending upon the number of variables involved. Whatever the variables involved, just we can classify depending upon the number of variables also. So these are the basic things just we need to know before going in detail into our chapter and all. So here I will advise you to go through these basics and all. So without these things our polynomials chapter won't happen. Okay, so I will advise you to just thoroughly just go through each point that we have discussed, and we shall take this session forward in the next session. Whatever few more important things like what is degree of the polynomial, so we have lot many to discuss. So before just I will advise you to go through these basics and all. So we shall meet in the next session. Till then, take care. So have a great day. Thank you all for a great time.